Day 5, and we're riding from Nako to Tabo in the Spiti Valley. And as you can see, the road is magnificent on this stretch. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it at all, surface wise. You can see the machinery that's up here permanently that I just went past, because every year there's the landslides that take out parts of the road, so they just have the machinery set up in all different places up here on a permanent basis so they can continue to work on the road while also clearing the landslides in a timely manner. Bearing in mind this is the only road in and out of the valley from the southern end, so it's an important lifeline both for civilians and for the military. The same high altitude geography today that is basically the whole of the time that you're in the Spiti Valley is looking like this. You can see on the right hand side there's like a dust marks on the road, and that's where there's been rock falls, and once again there are people permanently and continuously sweeping and fixing the roads. You can see there's two ladies there we just passed on the right hand side. They spend all day, I'm assuming 6 days a week, working on the road to make sure that they stay clear of rocks that fall down. They live in the local communities obviously and get dropped off each morning to their particular section of road and go ahead and spend the day in the eternal battle against rocks that fall off the side of the mountain down onto the road. The landscape just remains stunning, as it is for the whole time that you're in Spiti. It's a high altitude desert, so obviously the vegetation is sparse, and it's just really is a stunning part of the world. As you can see, it's a pretty atypical day for the roads up here. There's very, very little traffic. And what traffic that there is, always, especially the trucks, they're constantly checking their rear view mirrors. So even though it's just standard practice for everyone to toot as they're about to pass a vehicle, the trucks usually know you're there anyway. There is a section of this road earlier this morning that is still in the process of being resealed. So you have a series of switchbacks going downhill for about 2 kilometres that is currently unsealed, but by the rate of progress that they're going, I would assume that it will be all sealed by the start of next season in early May. If you like lots of corners and switchbacks and height adjustments in terms of going up and down hills, then Spiti Valley is fantastic. Obviously, because of the geography, they have to build roads that have lots of corners and switchbacks on it because they got to get up and down the sides of some pretty steep slopes. More work here reinforcing the left-hand side of the road. There's the ladies that are primary the workers on all the roads up here. So if you're used to the Western concept of guys doing all the hard physical labour on building sites or road construction, then it's a little bit of a shock to the system to look around and realise that just about all the physical labour is being done by women. And like most people who live in harsh environments like this, you would think that they would be weather beaten and looking rather crusty and craggy, but if you see closely, they cover themselves up. All their skin and their face is basically covered all the time. So when you see them outside of a work environment, they look younger than, say, Australian people do at the same age, because we just don't take the same precautions against the sun. A short stop for a drink and a get off the bikes is always normal. Normally about once every hour and a half we're stopping. The road isn't wide, but there's plenty of shoulder for you to go onto when vehicles are coming the other way. So the vehicles 99.9% of the time will pull over, so at least one set of their wheels are on the shoulder, and you can usually get by just on the outside next to the white line. Sometimes a wider vehicle like a military truck will take up all of the road, even when it's pulled over as far as they can. So in that case you need to slow down and go on the shoulder. And as you can probably see, the drop-offs here on this particular stretch aren't high at all, but if you were to go off, if it didn't kill you, it would definitely do some damage to you. looking ahead, just ahead of the other two guys that are riding, they're now entering into what you would consider to be a landslide or rock fallings high risk zone. Not this particular area here, but on the top of these small cliffs there are long slopes that go at steep angles with lots of shale on them, and that's where you're going to get lots of rocks coming down, and in bad weather lots of rain. You can see me looking around and looking up here. I'm assessing, just how dubious this place is, and I'm telling the guys, no, this is not a good place to stop here, boys. We should keep moving on this one.
Okay. I see you guys further up. It's too dangerous here. I see you further up.
We were lucky this year. We didn't see any landslides happening in real time, and we didn't have any rocks come down on us. Last season there was lots and lots of landslides and lots of really, really hairy situations riding along like this, where there were rocks coming down and you could tell that a landslide was imminent, as in the next couple of minutes it was going to go. So every season's different, and this one was good in terms of that, but you do need to always be aware and always be thinking every time you go to stop somewhere. Because it's a high altitude desert, and you're at height anyway, I think at this point we're probably at about 4,000 metres. The riding the bike and being in the sun and being at altitude, the water is just getting sucked out of your body at a really rapid rate. So the bare minimum you should have on the bike with you at any one time is a litre of water, and preferably start the morning each morning with 2 litres on the bike, just a couple of 1 litre bottles, and you should drink at least a litre of that water during the day. I aim for 2 litres. You're taking Diamox anyway, so you're going to be stopping to go to the toilet and have a pee more often than you would in, so you might as well help flush the stuff out that causes altitude sickness than be dehydrated and bring on the chances of altitude sickness even more. To the left you can see it's really green. Look, if there's water in an area like that, and there's many patches like this down low by the rivers in Spiti, then the vegetation thrives, and this area produces some of the best fruits, cold stone fruits, apricots, peaches, apples, and they're exported all over the world as well as for the Indian domestic market. Now that the roads are all good, agriculture will thrive a lot more, and you can see here on the left there's some kind of fruit tree orchard over on the other side of the river there that's been planted, and I have no doubt that their stuff is going down into major cities and maybe even internationally. prior to the roads being sealed, it would have been a very long and unreliable trip to get the produce to market. So the people up here love it. That bridge to the left hand side is still in use, obviously not for vehicles, just for pedestrians. Another rockfall area through here. You want to scoot through these areas as quickly as you can. Probably not the best place to be stopping to take photos. It's just another great day of riding in the Spiti Valley, and really every day is a great day of riding in the Spiti Valley.